Good morning.
Alrighty.
I'm very, very happy to be with you today. I don't know if I'm alone in this. I'm guessing maybe not, but it's been an interesting couple of months. I found myself falling apart almost once a week, just falling apart, just losing my mind, sobbing, crying, wailing, breathing. And in the midst of it all, somehow knowing everything's okay, even in the middle of it. And I feel tenuous. And I think that's the best word I can think of, tenuous. About a year ago, a little over a year ago, just before Thanksgiving last year, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's. And since that diagnosis and since starting medication for Parkinson's, I've gotten to have a lot of opportunities to have my life be different than it was before. Before. How many people have had that experience? So you're going along, everything's fine, and then something happens, and now that's before, and this is now. This is now is different. Now is very different. My energy is different. Sometimes I get really nauseous and dizzy after I take my medication. And so I can make plans, but I can't always do the plans that I made. And I'm a person who makes commitments and makes plans, and I don't not show up. I don't just not show up unless I'm really sick. But sometimes these days, I have to just not show up. I have to call or email or text and say, I can't do it today. I can't do it right now. Not right now. Maybe later. Some things I can do later. Other things I just can't do. And then they're gone. And so it makes me wonder. So this Live in Wonder title today is kind of a twofold thing. It's wonder, the amazing awe of the divine life, the wonder of the beauty and the incredible fact that we live is a miracle. It's just a miracle that we are alive. When you think of all the things that are going on in this space right now within you, that's a miracle. So there's that kind of wonder. And then there's the wonder of, I wonder what this is about. I wonder why I'm having this experience right now. Because I do believe, and I have a sense that most of us believe this, that there's this powerful presence that is our life, not it is acting just in our life, but is our life and is always for us, never against us. Always for us. So whatever's going on in my life, whatever's going on in your life, somehow I believe is for us. But sometimes I got to wonder, how can this be for me? How can this be for me? And then years later, or a month later, or the next day, something shows up to say, this is for you, and this is how. And this is how. There it is. In the midst of my falling apart, in the midst of my overwhelm, I'm surrounded by love. I'm surrounded by love. I have people in my household that love me. I have people outside of my household that love me, whether I'm crazy or not. They love me, and I know that. And I know that I am loved. And even if there was no one in my immediate life, I know that I am loved. I don't have to wonder about that. We don't have to wonder about that because we exist. We're here. So we are loved. Because the one life that could have made another mountain or a star chose to make you and coalesce atoms together as you. So of course we're loved. We don't have to wonder about that. Perspective is everything. Our song earlier, I bless this moment, let go of yesterday, no more tomorrows. When I'm having my freak out, I call it a freak out. I got to find a better name for it. I want to find a creative name for it. Maybe you can help me with that. Maybe we can share together a new name for freak out or losing my S-H-I-T. Perspective is everything. So when I'm having my moments, I'm either in the past or in the future. I bemoan how it used to be, and I don't get to have that anymore. And I'm worried about what's going to be. I found myself clinging to my husband's shirt, sobbing, and then I don't even know how to work the leaf blower and the edge trimmer on our property. And you have to teach me because I don't know how to do it. You can't die until I learn how to use the leaf blower. I know I'm not alone in this, right? Reassure me, I'm not alone in this. The things that my brain wants to turn to because it wants to grab something to have a reason for the feelings, a reason for something. I need to pin it on something because if I can pin it on something, then maybe I can fix it and then it'll be done and I'll never freak out again. So funny. We're so funny. We think we can fix things. We can't. We can just love. We can just love. We can love others. We can love ourselves in the midst of whatever is happening. That's what we can do. I heard a story, or maybe I read it this week, about a man who was held hostage by some terrorists somewhere for 5 years in solitary confinement. Just an ordinary person who got caught up in, he was like a social aid worker and got caught up in something and was in solitary confinement for 5 years with these terrorists. And literally, anytime they were delivering a meal or coming into his space, they made him put a hood over his head so he didn't see faces of anybody else, didn't speak to anyone, saw no faces, nothing for 5 years. And people said, how did you do that? How did you manage? Because he came out a decent human being. He came out a wonderful, loving, kind human being. And he said, I just did 1 minute at a time, 10 minutes at a time. He said, I had no concept of time. I had no concept of time. I was just present. And I tried to find moments of wonder. That's all I could do because I didn't know what else was going to happen. He just had himself. You know, we talk about people going into a monastery, doing silent retreats, all those things, but we don't think about somebody in jail as having the same exact possibility for an experience. Going into a monastery and being silent and in your little cell. People pay big money for that, but you don't pay big money to go to jail and have nobody talk to you, right? It's perspective. Did we choose it or did we not choose it? And even if we didn't choose it, is it still for us? I'm sure at about year 2, he was wondering to himself, how is this for me? But somehow it was for him because when he came out, he was a better human being. And then he spread that love and continues to spread that love every day out of that experience. He didn't let it change him, jade him, sour him, shut him down, go crazy. I mean, I'm sure he had his moments, right? We all have our moments when we rage against the machine, when we're furious about the what is and seems to be, what tomorrow might bring. We can't possibly know that. And what I can know right now and today is the sun is shining. I'm looking out the window right now at spectacularly beautiful blue sky. Today, the sun is shining. And every day the sun is shining, whether we see it or not, right? Perspective is everything. So can we live in wonder? The awe of the majesty of this life and the fact that we exist at all? And can we also exist in, oh, I wonder what this is about. I'm curious. If I go into judgment, I'm stuck. If I go into judging my experience, I'm a terrible person. I'm going to be crazy for the rest of my life. I'm going to have meltdowns every month forever. You know, if I start to judge that, I don't move. I don't continue to move forward. I get stuck in like an eddy in the water. I just keep swirling around the same stuff if I get stuck in judgment. I get swirling around in the same stuff in my life. I get stuck in the same judgments about your lives and the world. If I can step out of judgment and into curiosity, into I wonder how this is for me, or I can't wait to discover later how this has been for me, for me, for me, not against me, always for me. So can I stay in wonder? Can I stay in curiosity instead of judgment? That takes me right out of the eddy. And when you were river rafting, I learned this from my mom, who went river rafting a couple of times, crazy whitewater rafting. She's a very adventurous person. Speaking of which, it's her 88th birthday today. She's in our second row here. Yay! I'm glad she was born so I could be here. So she learned early on, if you fall out of the raft, don't fight the current. Put your feet down river, lay on your back. You have a life raft on, a life vest on. Aim your feet down river, and the river will take you to the shore. You might go down some bumpy stuff, but keep your feet headed downstream, your head up, and just relax, and the water will take you to shore, and then we will come and get you. But if you're fighting, I'm going to drown, you will drown. So in life, when we're in the rapids and all the water is rushing down our face from the rapids of our life, pouring our feet downstream to the source of the one life and the love that will carry us safely to shore. And if you can, call a friend, call someone who loves you, even in the midst of the freak out. I don't know what to do. I hear you. I love you. I'm right here. I love you even when you're crazy. Because that's just a judgment too. Take a deep breath. So that we may live in wonder, so that we may live in wonder, so that we know we are wonder, so that we know we are wonder. Wonderful, full of wonder. I would like to open the floor to thoughts, questions, comments, or anything else you want to say. Or nothing. Nothing's good too. Just breathe. Okay. I'm going to invite you for now. We'll just see if something comes up. We're going to do a little meditation. So close your eyes. Roll your shoulders back a couple of times, round in a big circle. Imagine you got pencils sticking out the end of your shoulders and you're drawing circles. And then go forward and draw some circles that way. I got a crack when I do it that way. And just sink into the seat. Just check in with the body. Do a little scan from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. And just notice what's going on without trying to fix it or manage it or change. Just notice where there's space. Notice if there's any tightness or tension. And you don't have to do anything about that. But if it wants to soften, just give it permission to do so. And just sink into this place of unity in the Olympics, this beautiful building that has held decades of prayer and consciousness. Think about this beautiful place we live, the Olympic Peninsula. There is wonder here everywhere. Think about one place in your life that feels wonderful. And if you choose, see if there's something that rises up within you that would like a little more wonder, a little more curiosity, a little less judgment. And just see what shows up, if anything. Take a deep breath in and audibly release it. And another. And one more, and kind of shake things out as you breathe out. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So again, any thoughts, comments, questions? Now is a good time. Yes.
That song came up in my head about supposed blood sugar helps medicine go down. You're talking, it was just me, and I think maybe for all of us, it's just what we need to hear. And that image of your feet up, floating on your back, go with it. I'm gonna have that forever now.
You can say, thank you, Clancy. She's the one who passed along that wisdom to me. I've only whitewater rafted once and we didn't have to do that. Yeah, anybody else? Clancy, she's in front.
My brain likes to play around with acronyms, and love is living outward vitalizes everything, or loving outward vitalizes everything. And sometimes I wake up and wonder, oh, maybe I need to write that one down because it pops up something. Found a word for V. I'm impressed.
Vitalizes, that's a good word. Vigor is another good V word. Catherine.
I'll just use this since I have it.
Oh, there
right
you go.
here.
She's got her very own.
Yeah, I had to go through that experience with the house thing, of course, because I was losing it. And I noticed that I was like really losing it. Like I was in a constant state of losing it. It never just went away. And I was just like, I can't problem solve and find answers if I'm losing it. So I'm going to have to calm down, put my feet forward, let the water crash over me, and just, let it slowly work itself out. So it is slowly, that being the operative word, working itself out. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know that the house has to be fixed. And because that's true, something is happening. I just don't see it yet. So anyway, yes. And I've been rafting and whitewater canoeing many times. Yeah. And if you don't put your feet down, you're going to get pummeled.
Yeah.
So.
Putting the feet out first is so that you don't hit the rocks with your head.
With something else other than your feet. Yeah.
And there are many rocks that happen in life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
doesn't always feel like they're for us.
but ultimately, the bigger picture. I loved your perception is everything analogy. That was beautiful.
Well, that guy in prison had a couple of choices.
Mhm.
He had basically two: live or don't. And that's what we have every single day,
Yeah.
every single minute: live or don't. And for me, it's, if I'm noticing I'm not experiencing joy, if I'm choosing going numb over feeling everything, because right now that's what it feels like, my choices look like feeling numb or everything. I know there's a middle ground, right? Where we don't have to feel everything at the highest level and we don't have to be numb either. There can be a place in the middle. And that for me means finding places for creativity and finding places for joy and laughter. Laughter. If I'm not feeling joy, there's something off and I need to do more inner work. I need to get support. I need to find some help. If I'm not experiencing and feeling any joy, I mean, I don't mean joy all day, that's nobody's going to feel that all day, every day. But if I'm not feeling any joy, if all I'm feeling is the heaviness or the darkness, then that means that something else needs to be done. But if I can grab a little moment of joy each day, those little trees gave me a little moment of joy today. So make sure we talk about those before we go. So I got a little moment of joy, and my socks gave me a little moment of joy. You can't really see them. They're under my shoes, but they're my happy holiday socks. So they gave me a little bit of joy today. So find that moment of joy wherever we can do it. If you're in doubt, go to the playground and just watch kids play. Go to the dream playground and just sit and watch kids play. And that laughter, you will just start to feel joyful. Take a book so people don't think you're a creeper. Thank you. Yes, an addendum.
I have a friend that was kind of beating up on himself like we do sometimes. And he said, finally he got it and said, I'm dancing as fast as I can. Just that. I'm dancing as fast as I can. That's it. That's it.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.